What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Make sure to visit podcastformarketers.com. Smash that like button if you like the video and fucking subscribe to this channel because I'm coming out with videos every day. Now let's get down to business. So today we're going to talk about a few ways to make money passive income to be specific, with free traffic. Free traffic is everybody's favorite word, right? Everybody wants to use free traffic. Not everybody use free traffic the right way, right? And you might not get the results that you want, okay? So, first of all, usually people, this is what they started off with doing, and Gary Halbert said this. He hated the internet and people on the internet because, everybody expected something for free. And free traffic is a big discussion on the internet. How can we do, get our internet sites for free? Because, first of all, there's a lot of us out here that are broke, right? We have no money. And we're trying to, I'm just fucking this up. All right. So we're trying to, get an income, take care of our families. Some of us are less fortunate and weren't born in, developed countries. Some of us are in developing countries, small island countries, and just trying to do everything that we can do to make money. Right. Unfortunately, understanding how traffic works isn't some of our strong suits. And it's really not a complicated thing, right? So Gary Vee is telling you all the time to go where the attention is, right? That's number one. The number one thing is, where's everyone's attention right now? All right, so we know that and we have to look at the age demographics. All right, this is really important, right? I see people say this all the time, 10 free ways to run traffic, right? But it's not always true. You might not always want every way possible to run traffic because you might not want all of those traffic streams, right? So let's just look at what's popular right now. Clearly, social media is popular, right? So let's just tackle this right away, right? Not all free traffic is made equally, though. So first, let's talk about Instagram, all right? Now, the average user is, 40 years old, and we have some younger people, but the average, now on Instagram is 40 years old, and you can drive a lot of good traffic with Instagram. So, post 6 times a day in your niche, okay? And then you have to, remember, you're going to have to do this often, okay? And then you're going to have to follow and unfollow, and this is just what I do, right? At least 100 to 200 people a day. All right. Right now, I'm following and unfollowing 700 people a day, and you might get 100 people to look at, to 200 people, actually less than that, but maybe 20 to 50 people to actually look at your profile and click through a link, right? So now we know that we're going to post up and we're going to use hashtags, okay? Those hashtags are going to bring people and a lot of bots as well, but a lot of people will come to look at your photos and say, hey, check out my link as well. And you're going to get an extra 20 to 30 people a day just using hashtags, right? So Instagram is one way to get people around 40 years old on average. We have younger people, but on average, right? But you have people 25, 35. Of course you do, okay? Now, the next thing that's, everybody's paying attention, where the attention is Snapchat, okay? Snapchat is a younger audience, though, isn't it? Right? So Snapchat, I think, is between 13 and it may be going up now at 25. My daughter's on Snapchat and she's 30. Jesus Christ, I just told you how old I was. All right, so the age, the demographic is there. Okay, older people, the more popular it gets, the more older people will join it. Okay, so, and we'll get into different types of influencers later on. Okay, so now, Snapchat, you can snap all day long, right? It's a all day long thing. But now what do? You put an web address, what they do, and then they tell you to swipe up. Okay, now, the very first thing that I did to get followers on Snapchat was to put it on all of my other social media, and then I went to Reddit. Reddit has a Reddit, right? For getting people to follow each other. Hey, check me out. I'm on Snapchat, blah, blah, blah. I got my first 20, 30, or 40 people from just posting up, follow me back on Snapchat. Okay. Now, they weren't targeted, but that's what I did to get at least some viewership in the beginning. And then I started posting my Snap everywhere else, my Snap code everywhere else to get targeted followers on Snapchat, right? And so what happens is when you start to put out your content, you have to put it out in different areas. Now, remember, you're going to drive traffic from each one of these sources. So since you're not spending any money, the most of your day will be spent doing this. And when I say most of your day, I'm talking 8 hours. Okay. So the same amount of time that you would expect an ad to run is the amount of time that you should be expecting yourself to work to make this happen, right? So no, this isn't going to happen with you working 15 to 20 minutes a day and then you lay down and you start making passive income. It's not going down, okay? The next thing I'm going to talk about is Twitter. Okay, so Twitter, the average age is older now, and I don't know how much, but I'm gonna guess and say again, it's gonna be up to 18 to 40 years old. Okay. Now the thing about Twitter is they're not getting any more new users, but they have a very strong audience as far as they're loyal. Okay. They have a very strong, loyal audience. And the way Twitter used to work was that you would just put out anything. It kind of worked like a CB channel. You would just say anything, and people would catch you, and you would talk to people back and forth. And it was kind of like you could just kind of put out tweets, and people would end up following you. But that's not true anymore. Now what you do with Twitter is talk directly to people. So if your niche, let's say, is survival, like right now, the survival niche is going crazy because the shit's going to hit the fan and we're going to war with Korea, right? So right now, if you're in a survival niche, you need to be really looking for things like that. And if you have tips about what to do when the shit hits the fan, or how to, get your go bag, or, what your bug out vehicle looks like and things like that, you should be tweeting those videos or blog posts to individual people that are using the words shit hit the fan, right? And it'll be SHTF as well, right? So you look out for those tweets and then you post out, want to check out my bug out vehicle, blah, 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 right? And you can do this 200-300 times a day, just tweeting people and running them to your content, right? This is a full-time job, but it works. Your main content is where you want people to come and look. So I don't know what channel that would be for you, but, my suggestion is YouTube, right? And that's what we're going to talk about next, okay? So YouTube. YouTube is like the modern television for people, like reality TV. People love. You're here right now watching this video. The average user, again, on YouTube, what's more important about YouTube is the average user is a DIYer type person, right? They want information, and everybody's on there. People that are my age are looking. My whole generation was a DIY generation. I believe this new millennial generation is too. Everybody's kind of like trying to figure out how to do things, make money online, and just anything for that matter. How do I sew a pair of pants, or how do I do whatever, right? So 70% of the people that the phrase that comes up, what they search for first is how to. So they'll tell you it's a DIY channel, right? And you can post up as much as you want to, but once to 2 times a day. Now, here's what's cool about YouTube. If you name yourself, like mine is Podcast for Marketers, right? And I have my snap code as my my photo. And then go get in the conversation, join the conversation, okay? So it's one thing I love about YouTube is the community, right? If you join the conversation, don't be spammy. Actually join the conversation. People follow links, especially if you say something decent, right? They will click on your shit and follow and see if you have videos or whatever. And all you have to do is just comment. People are nosy. They automatically click on names, whatever. But like, let's just say, for instance, if you're in the survival niche and your name is Survival Dan, right? Or the Survival Dan channel or something like that, right? That's your name. And then you see another guy reviewing a knife, and you have the knife. You can just go in there and just say, hey, man, I have this knife. I think it's excellent. When I did my review 4 or 5 years ago, I still believe that this is a great knife, right? So the way you're talking is like when I did my review 4 or 5 years ago. Curiosity, that's it. That's not come to my channel, check out my review too. That's saying I do reviews as well. Come check out my shit. And you might even say something like, when I did my review 4 or 5 years ago, man, I thought this was an awesome knife. I think I'll have to just revisit this knife. And 4 or 5 years later, I've beat the shit out of this knife. And it's still doing well. I think I'll do another review on that. Great review, blah, 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 whatever. And then that's it. And people will follow that link. So get involved, join the conversation, and post 1 to 2 videos a day. And you probably need to be doing 100 comments a day if you can. If YouTube lets you, do as many comments as you can. What I would do before is I would just, honestly, I would take 30 minutes to 1 hour a day and comment on other people's posts. Legit, like joining the conversation post, okay? So YouTube is a great way to get free traffic, okay? So the next thing we got to talk about, if we don't ever talk about this, is we have to talk about Facebook, okay? So Facebook. Now, Facebook is good for groups, and what you should be doing is starting a whole new profile just for business. Use your real name and your real face and photos or whatever. Don't use a business name. Just use your regular name. But, your friends and family don't want to see all of this kooky stuff that you're posting. Nobody believes in internet marketing for whatever reason, even though they buy shit online, but they kind of think it's weird, or they're thinking you're in some MLM thing, and they don't understand what you're doing. So start a different profile. Me personally, I don't like anybody on my profile that I haven't actually met. That's just my own thing. But anyways, so join groups. And then in those groups, what I noticed in my group is everybody's friends. Everybody's friends now. Everybody's friend requesting each other, and they all know each other, right? Everybody in my group all adds each other, and that's what's going on now, right? So when you do post up your videos, post up interesting content, kind of treat it like a blog, and then they have what they call notes, right? Post those up, give value, right? And let people know that you have your main channel being on YouTube or whatever you have, right? And go in groups and really give value. People followed me in groups and private messaged me because I would just go in, because I was a Facebook Yoda at the time. I still am, but I would go in and just post up tons of value. When I started this business, I wanted to go from 0 to $1 million, right? And how I got the seed money for this was I went into groups and posted up tons of value, so much value that people start private messaging me and ask me if I did coaching. And so I coached a few people for a couple grand, and that's how I started this business, right? And so I started from zero right there in Facebook group. And I never said, come ask me for coaching. I never posted a link. I just posted tons of value. I showed authority, and people private messaged me. And then I said, hey, join my group. I'll be posting up stuff in there. And that's how I seeded my group with the first 30 or 40 people. That's how I made a little bit of money. And that's just how I started, right? This particular business venture, doing exactly that, right? So Facebook is another good way to get traffic, right? Ultimately, everything should lead to an email address, right? And so right here, just with this, what I've given you right here, you should be able to run 400 to 600 people a day to your content alone, right? You should start getting followers, and you should start making a little bit of passive income, okay? Depending on what your niche is and how you set things up, right? So I've given you a few right here, but there's another couple of big ones that I wanted to make you aware of, okay? And that is message boards. People sleep on message boards, okay? There's a ton of things that you can do and different traffic that you can use, okay? But message boards are still very popular, right? Okay? And they have lots of traffic, right? And so get involved again in the community, okay? There's a lot of message boards in the make money online niche, for instance, like the Warrior Forums. Everybody knows about that, right? I have a profile there. I don't post as much as I would like to, but if you really want to be involved on these forums, and in your signature, people follow those. They're nosy. Put your name of your blog, put the name of your YouTube channel inside the signature. Get involved in the conversation. Offer tons of value. Do these long-ass posts offering value to people that are asking questions. Give answers or whatever. People will follow your links. They will definitely, and the good thing about message boards is the answers stay there. So people that are constantly looking on a post that has been busy and reading through all of the threads will definitely see what you've been doing and follow your links out, right? So message boards are another way, and I said this in another video like yesterday or 2 days ago about how message boards should be an important part of what you're doing. Now, if you spend 8 hours a day doing this, you should easily be able to run between 400 and 600 people a day to your main channel, okay? If you look at a conversion rate of 3% to 8% of people that actually purchase a product from you, you can start seeing that. So if you're doing this 400 to 600 people a day, running this traffic like this, right, from all of those different channels, and you're actually doing that, right? So let's just look at in 10 days, that's 4,000 to 6,000 people that are going to be running to your channel. And then, I don't know how many people of those, let's just say 2% of those people actually, go to your channel. That would be 80 to 120 people that actually look at your offer, and then 3 to 8% of those people will probably convert if you have something that's worth looking at. So do your numbers, right? So you see that you have to run a decent amount of traffic to start converting people and selling a product. Now, I'm going to talk about the problem that most people have with traffic, because we can talk about free traffic all day. People don't have a traffic problem, right? Traffic is not a problem, okay? People have an audience problem. Number one, you need to make sure that you're talking to the right people and they are passionate people. The key word there is passion, okay? They need to be passionate people about whatever you're talking about, okay? So making money online, getting free traffic, this is a passionate thing. People want free traffic. People will try anything to make money, especially if they can try to do it for free. They don't want to invest any money, right? So you should always want to invest money if you have it and pay for traffic. That way you can test what you need to test really quickly. Now, the next thing I'm going to tell you is, if you're talking to the right people, and let's just say, for instance, your niche is baseball, and you're showing people how to throw curveballs and pitches and how to grab the ball, and you're doing really good videos, right? But you have an offer up and nobody's actually, first of all, watching your videos. That means your videos suck, okay? You need to do better videos and do better subjects, okay? Now, your headlines, that's exactly what I mean. The names of your videos need to be headlines, okay? And you need to have awesome thumbs. All right, so all of these, your video can't suck. You need to have good subjects, which is your headlines, and good thumbnails to draw them in. And the next thing I want to tell you is that if no one is purchasing a product from you, you have an offer problem, okay? Not a product problem. You have an offer problem. You don't have a sexy offer, right? So these are the two main things that nobody talks about. They say, oh, yeah, you can go on YouTube, right? And you can get people to drop. But if you're like everybody else trying to sell cat headphones, or trying to sell dog pencils, or trying to sell T-shirts, what everybody else is doing, right? You don't have a great offer, or you're talking about you're going to do free plus shipping for a tiny little bullshit trinket cat necklace, and it's $17.99. You have an offer problem. It's not a traffic problem. It's not that I can't make any money affiliate marketing. It's you have an offer problem, right? So if you're affiliate marketing and you're putting somebody else's shitty offer in front of them, so you're doing YouTube videos on, let's just say, supplements, and so you're the YouTube workout dude and you've got supplements, and the supplements that you're affiliated with are charging $79 for something that normally costs $30. You have an offer problem. Okay, you need to make sure you can put together good offers, and preferably your own, right? So, and I can't explain what an offer is. You have to understand what an offer is. Now, it's not just, okay, I want to sell you a cat necklace, right? It's people buy results. They don't buy products, right? So you have to know how to sell in order to make this work. And that's beyond like the scope of this video, right? So the only thing I will tell you is make sure that when you're doing your social media traffic, okay, to make sure that you're getting in front of people that are passionate, number one, and get in front of, a good niche, okay? The next thing is you put a good offer in front of those people, okay? So let me show you exactly what it should look like. The number one thing that you need is to make sure you're talking to the right people, right? And the audience plus a good offer, a kick-ass offer equals cha-ching. Coffee break.